Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to the Trinity Stamps YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be making a wintry thank you card using some fun stencils from Trinity Stamps and a brand new line of sentiment stamps as well. So here's a look at the Layered Pine Forest Stencil set. There are 3 stencils in the set that are 9 by 4 inches, and there are also masks for every tree in this set. The stencils are labeled telling you which layer they are, so you can follow along with those numbers and create your layered forest, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use these Distress Oxide inks, Speckled Egg, Iced Spruce, some Weathered Wood, and some Stormy Sky, some Faded Jeans, and last is Chipped Sapphire. So let's jump in with the stencil labeled number 1. This is labeled 1 and 6, so 1 would be the largest set of trees, and my first color is that Speckled Egg. I'm using a blending tool here and applying the ink just very quickly. Some of the trees can be lighter, some can be darker, just really however you want them to be. They're going to be layered up quite a bit, so your stenciling doesn't have to be, you know, crisp, clear perfection. And also I am going to make mine a wintry scene with some snow, so I always feel like when you're doing that, it doesn't matter if the stenciling is like perfect. So now we're going to find the one labeled number 2 and go with the larger set of trees, the taller trees, and I'm going to use the same piece of tape. I'm trying to use the same piece of tape throughout all 6 of these stencilings. So we'll see how that works out. So my next color is the Iced Spruce. This is kind of a grayish color, but has a little bit of an undertone of green. And I just thought it was really fun picking out some, you know, blues, bluish greens, grayish greens, and playing with some wintry colors. It is extremely snowy here in Idaho. Today we didn't have snow, but we have a probably 6 or 8 inches accumulation everywhere. So been a lot of shoveling going on. Now we're on to layer number 3, and I'm using Weathered Wood for this layer. This one's a little bit more blue in its undertone, and it is gorgeous. I'm loving this color with these other 2. These 3 colors right here, I just loved how they look together, and I think I would totally use this color combination again for a wintry scene. So pretty. So here, let's take a look at layer 3, and then we're going to immediately look at layer 4. I totally forgot to videotape this part instead of starting my recording when I wanted to. I actually stopped it, so I had it all mixed up, but these things happen. So let's move on to layer number 5, and now we're bringing in those darker blue colors. So this is the Faded Jeans, and now the trees have gotten smaller, they're more spread out, and so this really goes fairly quickly. I found it to be, the whole process, all 6 layers probably took 10 minutes. I mean, you know, you have the cleaning off, and I switched out the foam on my tool, so those things take a little bit of time too. But I loved the result. I felt it was totally worth that few extra minutes of making this layered forest. It really adds something special to your card. There you can see all 6 of the layers. Now I'm bringing in my Distress sprayer with some water and spritzing that to give me the first look of snow. It just has those speckles on it that really look like far away snowy scene. Next, I'm adding some white acrylic paint over the top, mixed with just a little bit of water. Now you might think, oh my word, she's gone crazy with the white paint. Yep, that's me. But this paint will dry back lighter than when it first goes on, and so the effect of the snow is going to be just perfect even with this large amount of splatter on it. Next, I am bringing in the Simply Sentimental Thanks stamp set. It has all of these thank yous and little sentiments to go with it, and dies to coordinate. There's also a Simply Sentimental You and a Simply Sentimental Hello set. So these sets are going to go with all the things that you already have. I'm going to link them all for you below so you can check them out and the variety that comes in these sentiment sets. So now I am using just the dies for the thank you. There is, you can see there, a stamp that goes with this that you could stamp and then bubble cut out. So the possibilities are just up to you. I'm going to use just the die set for mine, and I'm gluing those letters on, and you can see me tap it off on the paper towel. That's like maybe I got a little too much glue on the really fine areas, and then I kind of press it down with the paper towel as well to pick up any glue that might squish out. And now it's time to glue all the things in place on this card, and I will layer this up actually with another die cut just to make it a little bit thicker and stand up off the card a little bit, but you know, a lot less than if I were to use some foam squares. So that's what I did there. For the second sentiment on this card, I did pick a sentiment from that set, and it says, "From the bottom of my heart." I thought that was just so cute. So now I'm just using my Misty, the grid on the front of the Misty, to make sure my stamp was straight, which is really important when you have those skinny stamps. You can put them on there and they can have a little, you know, bend in them. Next, I'm treating my paper with the anti-static powder tool. So when I emboss this with white powder, the white powder is hopefully only going to stick to my stamped image. And there I am stamping it down with a Versamark or some sticky embossing ink, and then we'll sprinkle on some white powder and it will stick to that ink really nicely. Just like that. And then all is left to do is to heat set this, and it will melt that powder and give me a nice white sentiment here on my dark blue paper that coordinates so nicely with my card. I'm going to trim this down with my quick trimmer and get a nice sentiment strip, and that will go underneath my thank you sentiment. So I'm just going to pick out my paper blade here and cut that. You could easily do this with a die, you could do this with a paper cutter, just like whatever tools you have that work for you. All right, so I'm kind of figuring out the layout of this, and then it's time to glue everything down. So first the thank and then the you, and I did bring in another tool besides my tweezers to help me get this where I wanted, and that's a T-square ruler, so I can make sure that they're lined up and not, you know, going uphill or downhill or anything like that. And then I can add on my second sentiment, and I thought because this says "from the bottom of my heart" that I would bring in some of my Trinity Stamps embellishments and my new pickup tool, isn't it gorgeous, and add in these hearts. Now these hearts come in all different colors, as you can see there on my left, and I chose this one, berry blue jelly hearts. And I'm gluing that on top of the dark blue paper, so it's a little bit translucent, so it's not going to look so turquoise on my card. And then I have these green ones as well. I'll link all the hearts for you below so you can check them out, and any other embellishments that you might want. Trinity Stamps has so many delicious embellishments, so make sure you check those out. Aren't those hearts cute? Okay, let's glue this down to a slimline card base. Mine actually measures 8 3/4 by 7.5, scored at 3 3/4. So I have a nice white border all the way around my card. I just really like that look. And I had already made my background 8.5 by 3.5. So I just made the card base a little bigger, which I do from time to time. So there is my finished card. I already know exactly who I'm sending this to. And it is my goal this year in 2022 to send out more of the cards that I make. I make a lot of cards for my job, so to speak, and I am kind of getting a big stash. So this year I'll be sending out more cards like this, and I hope you will too, and bless other people with your creations. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you want more inspiration, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook too. I'll see you all on the next one. Happy stamping! Bye!